Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a story that shook the financial world, a saga of ambition, innovation, and an incredible downfall. We're talking about FTX and the man at its center, Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF as he's widely known. Get ready, because this is a wild ride through one of the biggest financial collapses in recent memory. Imagine a world where digital currencies were soaring, creating new millionaires overnight, and promising a financial revolution. That was the landscape in 2022, and at the heart of it all was FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange that seemed unstoppable. For millions of people, FTX wasn't just a platform. It was a trusted gateway to this new digital frontier. Users poured their hard-earned money, their life savings, and their hopes for the future into this exchange. We're talking billions of dollars, held by ordinary people and sophisticated investors alike, all believing in the promise of secure, innovative trading. The stakes couldn't have been higher. People invested in what they believed was a transparent and well-managed company, expecting their assets to be safe and accessible. The very idea of their funds vanishing seemed unthinkable, yet that's exactly the nightmare that unfolded. The trust placed in FTX was immense, built on the image of a savvy, charitable, and seemingly responsible leader. This wasn't just about losing money. It was about shattered dreams and a profound betrayal of trust that left countless individuals reeling. So, who was the architect of this empire and, ultimately, its collapse? Meet Sam Bankman-Fried, a brilliant MIT graduate, a vegan, an effective altruist, and a man who quickly became the poster child for the crypto boom. SBF was often seen in t-shirts and shorts, exuding an image of casual genius and a disinterest in traditional corporate pomp. He was lauded in mainstream media, graced magazine covers, and even testified before Congress, presenting himself as a responsible voice in the burgeoning crypto space. He founded Alameda Research, a quantitative trading firm, and then FTX, which rapidly grew into one of the largest crypto exchanges globally. He amassed an estimated net worth of over $26 billion at his peak, becoming a celebrity in his own right, known for his philanthropic pledges and his vision for a better world through crypto. He positioned himself as a champion of regulation, advocating for consumer protection and stability in an often chaotic market. His persona was carefully cultivated, a young, relatable genius who was changing the world for the better, making him a truly charismatic figure. But beneath this carefully constructed facade lay a staggering deception. The mechanism of the lie, the core of the FTX scandal, was shockingly simple, yet devastatingly effective. It all hinged on an illicit relationship between FTX, the public-facing exchange where users deposited their funds, and Alameda Research, SBF's private trading firm. Here's how it worked. User deposits on FTX were not being held securely as promised. Instead, billions of dollars of customer funds were secretly diverted from FTX to Alameda. Think of it like this. You put your money in a bank expecting it to be safe, but the bank secretly lends out almost all of it to a speculative hedge fund that it also owns without your knowledge or consent. Alameda then used these customer funds for highly risky investments, lavish expenditures, and even to pay back its own lenders after suffering significant losses. This wasn't just a misstep, it was a fundamental breach of trust and a blatant misappropriation of assets. There was no proper segregation of customer funds, no robust internal controls, and effectively, no oversight. It was an elaborate shell game, where the funds meant for one purpose were being used for another entirely different and incredibly risky one, all hidden from the public eye. SBF wasn't operating in a vacuum. He was surrounded by a small, tight-knit inner circle, many of whom were friends from college or early career connections. These individuals held key positions within both FTX and Alameda Research, creating a power structure that lacked independent oversight. We're talking about figures like Caroline Ellison, the CEO of Alameda Research, who reportedly had an on-again, off-again relationship with SBF, Gary Wang, the CTO of FTX and SBF's co-founder, and Nishad Singh, the director of engineering. This close-knit group shared an apartment in the Bahamas, blurring the lines between personal and professional relationships and creating an environment where dissent or scrutiny was apparently minimal. This insular structure allowed decisions of immense financial consequence to be made with little external challenge. fostering a culture where secrecy and a lack of transparency could thrive unchecked. Their involvement and knowledge of the commingling of funds and the risky practices of Alameda were crucial to the operation of the scheme. They were not just employees, they were key enablers of the deception. Many of them have since cooperated with authorities, shedding light on the internal workings of this complex fraud. So why did SBF do it? What was the motivation behind such a colossal gamble with other people's money? It appears to be a toxic blend of ambition, a belief in his own exceptionalism, and a warped sense of effective altruism. SBF often stated that his goal was to earn as much money as possible to give it away to charitable causes, adhering to the philosophy of effective altruism. He seemed to believe that by taking massive risks, he could generate even greater wealth to do good in the world. However, this noble-sounding philosophy apparently became a justification for increasingly reckless and ultimately illicit behavior. He wanted FTX to be the biggest, the most influential, and he needed capital to achieve that. When Alameda's risky bets went south, instead of admitting failure, he allegedly tapped into FTX customer funds to cover the losses, hoping to quietly make it back. It was a classic robbing Peter to pay Paul scenario, fueled by a desire to maintain the illusion of success and an unwillingness to admit defeat. The motivation wasn't purely malicious, but it was profoundly misguided, believing that the ends justified the means, even if those means involved betraying the trust of millions. He envisioned FTX as a global financial powerhouse, and he believed he had the intelligence and the vision to make it happen, even if it meant cutting corners that eventually led to a catastrophic downfall. The downfall of FTX was swift and brutal. Whispers of financial instability began to circulate, fueled by a CoinDesk report revealing Alameda's balance sheet was heavily reliant on FTX's native token. This sparked a bank run on FTX, with users rushing to withdraw their funds. The house of cards collapsed, revealing an $8 billion hole in FTX's balance sheet and leading to its spectacular bankruptcy filing in November 2022. SBF resigned, and later, he was arrested in the Bahamas and extradited to the United States. He was subsequently convicted on multiple counts of fraud and conspiracy, a stark reminder that even in the innovative world of crypto, fundamental financial principles and legal boundaries cannot be ignored. The reverberations of FTX's collapse were felt across the entire crypto market, causing significant drops in asset prices and eroding investor confidence. It highlighted the urgent need for clearer regulations and greater transparency in the digital asset space. The FTX saga is a cautionary tale, a powerful reminder of the importance of due diligence, financial transparency, and ethical leadership, especially in rapidly evolving industries. It serves as a stark warning against placing unquestioning trust in charismatic figures and the dangers of opaque financial structures. For all of us, it's a lesson in understanding where our money truly goes and the crucial need for robust protections. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the FTX story. If you found this breakdown insightful, please hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content that helps us understand the world around us. Your support means the world, and we'll see you in the next video.